he was equally an object of worship as much as God himself. Judaizers believed, much like the Jews do, that Jesus was one of several human children born to two human parents, and that while his unselfishness and his good works and his teachings made him a worthy model for emulation, they felt that he played no part in the salvation of others. This divide in the church actually caused some Unitarians to become Jews. And all of these issues were caused by persecution in places where all of these religions had formerly coexisted in peace. In Transylvania, when the Unitarian King Sigmund died, the tolerance of Unitarianism dropped off. All Unitarians were removed from high public and court office. The successor to the throne, Stephen Bathory, declared in 1572 that Unitarian would remain legal only if there were no further changes, no further theological innovations. Now, for a young tradition that was open to new thought and continuous revelation, this requirement was terribly binding and controlling. Now, we're going to move from the 16th century, where all of the problems began, and move to the 20th century, to the village in Transylvania called Bozo de Fala. This village was destroyed, closing a special chapter in the history of Unitarian multi-religious engagement. This 400-year-old village, while small, was remarkably religiously diverse, with congregations of Catholics, Reformed Christians, Unitarians, and Jews, including Zekle Jews. Zekle Jews were originally Unitarians who over time adopted Jewish practice. They came to take on an exclusive Jewish identity. Zekle Jews represent the only instance of an entire community of people adopting Judaism without having any historical or genealogical ties to that tradition. They declared their Jewish identity in 1867. While they enjoyed substantial numbers at one time, by the 20th century only a small remnant remained, all making their homes in Bozo de Fala. Now the interesting thing is, in this small village, the same thing was going on that had been going on early on in Transylvania, Lithuania, and Poland among the different religions. These people frequently visited their friends' religious churches. They read each other's holy books, and they shared one another's religious celebrations. So this wasn't just a bunch of individual religious groups living in the same area without fighting all the time. They were sharing. They were coming together as a group. It was true unity in these places. In 1989, the Romanian communist dictator, Nicolae Ceausescu, finally approved a public works project that the residents of Bozo de Fala had long anticipated, a flood control dam in the local river. And the villagers were equally pleased because not only would it control the flooding in their village, but it was also going to bring jobs, and it was a very poverty-stricken area. But when the construction began, the villagers experienced a terrible shock. The project they were working on was not the one that they had requested. The dam was not designed to control flooding. It was designed to completely flood the entire village. They had become part of Ceausescu's plan to annihilate ethnic Hungarian people by destroying their villages and relocating them to tiny rooms in cinder block housing developments where they could not maintain their cultural identity. When the villagers realized this, they tried to sabotage the work, but it was too late. The regime sent in Romanian troops who evicted them and completed the project. The people were forced to leave without the time to remove their furniture or their animals. However, they did gather together as one community for one final worship service at the Unitarian Church. Today, as you can see from the picture I gave you, if you visit Bojadambala, you can see the eerie sights of the ruined steeples of the tallest churches rising out from the middle of an artificial lake caused by that dam. It is so sad that the earlier peaceful coexistence of many religions in Eastern Europe was so disrupted by religious persecution. The people became afraid, and this stress caused conflict and division. One of the biggest problems with religion has always been that people decide that their religion is the only right one, that everyone else is wrong and evil. And that's why more people have been killed on this earth in the name of religion than for any other reason. But there is good news. There is presently going on a worldwide spiritual movement of people of many different religions coming together with understanding and with respect for one another. The convening of the Parliament of World Religions, first in 1893 and then again in 1993, gave this a big push. Now, you can say to me, well, you know, that may all be fine and grand and all that stuff, but I'm not seeing it in my life here. Tell you what, if you want to see it, turn on the Oprah Winfrey Show some Sunday. She has spiritual teachers and spiritual leaders from all different kinds of traditions on her show to share their teaching and their wisdom with everybody. She can have Rob Bell, Reverend Rob Bell, the one that is shaking up fundamental Christianity like gangbusters. Next Sunday, she can have Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese Buddhist monk that is considered second in leadership of the Buddhist community behind the Dalai Lama. Now, obviously, the majority of humanity is not on this train yet. All we have to do is look at all of the hatred and the violence and all the craziness going on in our world. But can you imagine if people could quit that and these religions could come together with honor and respect and work together on the crises that are facing our planet? War, hunger, poverty, the environment, illness. What a power for good that would be. And that would truly give the human race a chance for a better future. Our last hymn this morning is All Beautiful, the March of Days, number 57. that was written by Jack London. I would rather be ashes than dust. I would rather that my spark should burn out in brilliant blaze than it should be stifled by dry rot. I would rather be a superb meteor, every atom of me in magnificent glow, than a sleepy permanent planet. The proper function of man is to live, not just to exist, and I shall use my time.